yeah, it's all because of men, all the incels and all that stuff. But I'm like, okay, you could blame the dudes who didn't show up, I guess, but you can also blame the women that didn't show up. Box office. Who saw the Marvels this weekend, huh? Anybody? Anyone? Anybody see the Marvels? Probably not. Well, of course I did. You guys heard what I had to say, and we did talk about it with the panel on the Vox stream. But yeah, Marvels came out this weekend and did not do well. Did not do too well when it came to the box office, which we all suspected that. Things weren't looking good. And now we got current numbers. Like I did a box office short yesterday, and the numbers weren't legit, and I knew that was going to be the case because it seems like I always go to Box Office Mojo. You think that they would be on top of everything, but they seem to get, the rough numbers, they're never correct. 109 million worldwide, 46.1. That's actually, the domestic went down. It was 47 last time I checked, but that's what happened when it came to the Marvels right there. Not looking too good. Will it have legs? Most likely not. I don't think there's a good word of mouth when it comes to all this, but you never know. So what happened with the Marvels? Now, obviously, when it comes to the Marvels, there's some people out there, we just get this part out of the way. You're going to have people, and I've seen the tweets where people are just going to be blaming dudes. Yeah, it's all because of men, all the incels and all that stuff. They're the reason they wanted this movie to sacrifice. But I'm like, okay, you could blame the dudes who didn't show up, I guess, but you can also blame the women that didn't show up. Let's face it. There's I think there's even a thing out there where, if this was directed towards women, the women didn't come out either. And yes, you're going to have, of course, that side of YouTube and film criticism and all that are going to be like, it's because it's woke. They use the W word. But I've seen people on Twitter who like to do this other thing where they basically, there's one account that keeps on getting dragged too. And I even made a comment on it because they made it seem like headlines and whatever don't report the news of things bombing and not doing well. And they're making it seem like, oh yeah, they better do this with Aquaman 2. It's like, yeah, they will. Okay? All the publications, when Aquaman 2 also bombs opening weekend, they're going to be posting headlines and articles doing the same thing. Okay? I know we all want to think that just because there's, 3 female leads and a female director, that it's just because it's misogyny. No, it's not. One of my biggest gripes was the fact that instead of having, you have these 3 leads with different backgrounds, different characters, but they're all connected. Okay? You have Carol, who is the main. Captain Marvel, she is the main one. Okay? You got Monica, who she is connected to. We all know that story because obviously she's her aunt. So we know about that. And they haven't talked since. Okay, cool. You got something there. Then you got Kamala, who is a fan, total fangirl, fan of Carol. So she now gets to go on a mission to save the world with her. So you could play with that. And then you have, she doesn't know who Monica is. So there's all that. There's these 3 characters. You could really flesh out these stories and do all that. And they fucking really didn't. They try to give us a short movie that tried to move really, really fast. And I'll give it to them that the way that it was cut down, it did move. But the whole movie just reminded me of the first act of Rise of Skywalker. But they really could have taken their time to have these characters, and they could have just eliminated everything that had to do with Nick Fury. That's the part that pissed me off the most. You have Nick Fury in there, and I get it. It's Nick Fury. But what do they do with a lot of these movies? And this is where I agree with the people that were going, it's woke. Because what do they end up doing? They take a male character and turn him into a big dum-dum and make him useless. And that's what they did with Nick Fury. He was just making jokes, and then there's this whole bit about the fucking cat. The goddamn cat that scratched his eye in the first one, which is a very disappointing thing. they have this whole bit with the cat where, like, the space station, spoiler alert, guys, if you don't want to hear this, because this is like a bit that happened in the movie, the freaking cat, I forgot the cat's name. I don't even care. Goose, right? I almost said Gus. Goose. There was eggs that were being laid around and you're like going, oh, is this like a little subplot of something that's going to happen? No, it's just a bunch of eggs with a bunch of kittens that come out of it, a bunch of alien kittens, and then it's up to Nick Fury to rile up the kittens and have the whole crew get swallowed up by these kittens so they can get out of the space station. Dumb. Absolutely stupid. Did not need to be there. Wasted way too much time in the movie, and they could have taken that time to really flesh out the stories of the three leads. But no, they decided not to do that. Again, it's not just they just didn't. The writing was just bad. It was just bad. The chemistry was there, and the action was there. There was some good action sequences when it came to that, especially the idea of them having their powers. And every time they use them, even though that was a little confusing too, and they could have taken some time to really explain how that was all working, because it does get a little confusing. They could have just really taken the time to do that and focus on the three mains, but no, they had to inject this whole little subplot with the space station and the fucking cat. It's just, ugh. But not just that, of course, the strikes affected it because they couldn't market it. Now they're marketing it. All of a sudden now we're getting some junkets and stuff like that. That affected it. Of course, we're going to hear about superhero fatigue. That's always going to be a thing. Marvel pumped out way too much content during the pandemic with shows and movies. That's also part of it as well. So there's just a lot of things, a lot of factors that came into it. But okay, we can't be on one side and blame all the incels, and we can't be on the other side and blame all the woke people. Okay, that's where we always go to the extremes. But then you have to no, it's a little bit more. There's a little more to it than that. So don't be on that or that. So.